If you want to see yourself on the Raiders Report, then listen the heck up. The first 5 people who give me a follow on Instagram and send me a picture of yourself repping some Raiders gear at Mitchell Renz 365, you're going to be featured on the next Raiders Report.
So nation, no matter the location, from O-A-K-L-A to LV, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Before I get into the latest rumors, we got to give some love to today's sponsor, Manscape. And if you haven't gotten any love in a long time, it's maybe because your balls don't look very clean. Head on over to manscaped.com/Raiders where you guys can save 20% off and get free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. All right, y'all. So what's coming up here on today's show? I got basically 4 big-time stories that I'm ready to take a deep dive into and take a little bit more of an extra analysis. The first story that we're going to be leading off here is this whole Derek Carr, Tom Brady, mother bleeper. If you can't say, the F word, we usually just say Tom. We're going to talk about that entire drama on today's show. We got a little bit of an update on Davante Adams that I would like to be able to be a front seat driver to. And the Raiders, is the fate in the offensive line's hands? I saw a pretty cool article. I'll tell you about that. And at the very end of today's show, we're going to take a little bit of a look at Chad Ochocinco. He's talking about potentially playing for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll let you know how many Chucky heads on this story. That's all coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Derek Carr is a mother bleeper. Well, that's going to be the story we're going to talk about here on the Raiders Report because a few weeks ago, Tom Brady was on the shop talking about his free agency experience. Basically, Brady called a quarterback a mother effer, and the whole reason why we're even talking about this because Pro Football Talk's been bringing it up. It's been all over the place. We're trying to figure out who the heck Tom Brady is ripping apart. And I've actually talked about this a little bit before on this show, but if y'all don't, watch very often, here were the 4 players that I believe that Brady was potentially referring to. It was either Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, and then Mitch Trubisky. The other reason why we're going to go ahead and bring this up again is because Derek Carr actually spoke and gave his 2 cents on whether or not he thought that he was the person that Tom Brady was referring to. Before I give you that story, though, who do you think Tom Brady was ripping apart calling a mother bleeper? Do you think it was Jimmy Garoppolo? Type JG. Was it Ryan Tannehill? Give me an RT. Mitch Trubisky? Type MT. Or if you think it's our quarterback, Derek Carr, I want you to type DC. So is Derek Carr the mother bleeper? I'm going to give it one Chucky head. I'm going to say it's a small shred of truth. Carr literally said on Wednesday that a source that he believes is very credible, I don't know who the heck it is, said that he was not the person that Tom Brady was referring to. The only reason why I can't give this 0 Chucky heads is simply because until Brady actually admits to who he was talking about, I don't know if I can trust anybody because, of course, whoever Derek's talking to is going to be like, no, Derek, it wasn't you. Don't worry about it, man. No shit, right? So here's what Carr had to say on the whole Brady mother effer rumor. From what I know, it wasn't me, which is good. I know you got the rings, but if it's not me, then we're good. What I heard, it wasn't me. And so I'm good with that. Personally, PFT has been doing everything in their power to hype up this story over the last month, which is basically, what Florio likes to do. Stoke the fires a little bit because he just doesn't know what the hell to talk about, which then makes my job here at the Raiders Report, and then I got to talk about it. So my question to all you is this. Do you really care about this Carr and Brady story? Do you legitimately wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I got to get the latest on this information? Let me know down in the comments because between you and me, I don't give a shit. I honestly really don't. But my job here is to talk about the latest news and rumors, give you guys my 2 cents on it. But if I'm being honest with you, I don't care if he did do it. I don't care if he didn't do it. And as far as I'm concerned, Brady has 7 rings, okay? He can do whatever the hell he wants. That might piss some people off here at the Raiders Report, but you got 7 rings, go do what you want. I don't really care. In terms of the overall, who the heck is he talking about? Personally, I actually thought he was talking about Mitch Trubisky. I thought he was talking about the Bears. And I know there's been some people that disagree with that, but the only quarterback on that list of Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitch Trubisky, Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, the only guy that's the biggest joke on there, and probably not even a starter anymore. I mean, he's not. He's a backup to Josh Allen. Was Mitch Trubisky. So that's where I'm going to go and put my money on because can you really trust anybody with the name Mitch? Have you subscribed to the Raiders Report? How about this? No balls. I don't think you will. I double dog dare you that you will not subscribe to the show. And if you haven't already, the link's below, but honestly, I don't think you will. No balls. You will not subscribe to the Raiders Report. Wanted to try something a little bit different because back in my old days, if somebody said no balls to you, you probably went ahead and did it. So fingers crossed that you don't got no balls. All right, here. So Derek Carr, does he want Davante Adams? This one's for Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. The other biggest story swirling around the internet right now, around the Raiders, around Derek Carr is, well, his best buddy Davante Adams, him and Carr, they've been talking about linking up here in Las Vegas. Adams is going to be a free agent in 2022. He's got 1 year left on his deal, $13.78 million. Last week, Carr said that he would do literally whatever it takes to get his old Fresno State wide receiver back in Las Vegas. This week, Derek said that he would buy him a car, not with 2 R's, but with 1 R. Okay, so here's exactly what Carr had to say on the Chris Collinsworth podcast. Adams is one of my best friends. I'm going to offer him whatever I got to offer. I'll buy him a car. Whatever I got to do, I'll offer that man. I know he would fit in great with the receivers we have here. He'd fit in well in that room. I'm allowed to say those things. Our organization isn't, but I'm going to say it. So what about this? I figured this would be a fun segment to do. What car should Carr get for Davante Adams? Coming up here on the show, I'm going to break down the top 5 cars that if I was Derek Carr, I would get Davante Adams. So before I give you guys my list, please let me know down in the comments section what car Derek should get Davante Adams. So at number 5, I'm going to go here with a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I'm going to give you my biggest reasons why every single time I go ahead and pick a car. The very first thing that I looked up was Davante Adams' car on Google. First thing I found, him next to a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Do I think that car and him could probably afford something a little bit better? Yeah, I do. But you know what? Hey, maybe he's going to have a few kids. He's got a wife and girlfriend, I believe, or just one, wife or girlfriend. I shouldn't say both. So, Jeep Grand Cherokee. What about number 4? Let's go with a Ford Raptor. Now, why the heck would I go with a Ford Raptor? Well, I know Derek Carr, he drives a all blacked out Ford Raptor, and he's taken some pictures with some fans that I've seen. I don't know if this is right here is his exact car, but maybe it looks like that. Maybe Davante Adams is a truck guy. I know a lot of people in Las Vegas. A lot of people have trucks. So that's number 4 on my list in terms of the overall car that Derek should get Davante Adams. At number 3, maybe this one's too obvious. I'm going to go with a Mini Cooper. If you want to really sweeten the deal with your new owner, Mark Davis drives a Mini Cooper. Why the hell not? Derek, let's go ahead and get Davante Adams a sweet ride. That way he can just sweeten the deal up a little bit with Mark. Maybe if Mark and Adams are both driving the same car, maybe they'll also know where they're, get the same haircut. All right, let's go to number 2 here on my list here of car picks for Davante Adams. I'm going to go with the Honda Civic, and only certain people are going to understand where I'm going with this. So a few years ago, Derek Carr was in a Honda commercial, and he's doing all this crazy things. The car in the background, I believe, is a Honda Civic. So Derek, I bet he's got a hook up there, and I don't know. I can't imagine Davante Adams driving a Civic, but they are very reliable cars. The number 1 car to make sure that Adams is a Raider, this isn't a brand of a car. It's simply just a Raider car. If you've been to Oakland, if you've been to Las Vegas, you can drive around. Heck, I've been to places here in Dallas, Texas. I literally see Raider decals on cars. So if you want to get him any kind of car, all you got to do is slap a Raiders logo on it and you're ready to rock and roll. So Derek, I know you got the money to do it. I know you got that 5-year, $125 million contract. If you would willing to do anything, let's go get Davante Adams a car of any kind of sort. I also know that Davante has a Lambo. I couldn't find a picture of a Lamborghini with a Raiders logo. And if that's all it takes to get it done, man, where the heck do I sign up? Raider Nation, make sure your black hole is nice and shaven, and if you're wondering how to do that, head on over to manscape.com/Raiders, where you guys can save 20% off and get free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. If you're nervous on shaving your black hole, luckily for you, the Lawnmower 4.0, it's got an awesome light at the end of that tunnel, so when you're trying to get into your tunnel, you can go ahead and make sure that you don't go ahead and cut yourself. Luckily, though, I promise you won't cut yourself because of the high-grade blade that this thing is. Smooth, and if you do cut yourself, it's probably more of a you problem than a Manscaped problem. But it's manscaped.com/Raiders. That code's going to be down in the comments. It's also going to be in the description as well. And the reason why you guys should also get your hands on the perfect package, you're looking for the perfect package, this is the best product to go ahead and use. You get the lawnmower, you get the ball deodorant, you get these awesome boxers, and you get some cologne for your balls. I'm about to be in Las Vegas, and it's going to be 115 degrees. I don't want to walk by somebody, they get a sniff of my balls, and they're like, do you use Manscape products? Luckily for me, I do. So seriously, take advantage of our awesome deal here at the Raiders Report. The link, again, is in the comments description. It's manscaped.com/Raiders, promo code Raiders. Is the Las Vegas Raiders offensive line going to be the biggest determining factor of whether or not this team wins games or not? I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads. I'm going to say it's pretty likely. I saw an article by The Athletic basically saying that the Raiders' fate in 2021 is in the offensive line's hands. I agree with that to a certain point. I also disagree with it because, let's face it, the defense also is going to be a major factor in that, and also Derek Carr. So you sprinkle in all those things, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand it. But the reason why I am giving it 3 Chucky heads is because, sure, you lost Rodney Hudson, you lost Gabe Jackson, Trenton Brown, FTB, but there are definitely plenty of questions around the line. And also when you look at to see how Derek Carr has done in the past, the O-line is a major factor in that. So before I get into my reasonings why, I wouldn't be too worried about the O-line and why I'm confident in Derek Carr, how confident are you in the offensive line? I mean, one of the biggest things that I would say the NFL media has been talking about is how bad the Raiders O-line is, how bad of the moves that we've made the offseason. But if you talk to a lot of Raider fans, I would say that they're feeling okay about the offensive line. So from a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you in the line? 1 being you're not confident at all, 10 being you're very confident. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go with a 5 right now, and I'm kind of wishy-washy. Do I think Alex Leatherwood's going to be a good player? Yes, I do. Is he ready to be a first-round caliber right tackle in the NFL? That still remains to be seen. Denzel Good did a phenomenal job last season being able to fill in where needed. Richie Incognito, if he's healthy, I'm okay. Andre James hasn't really shown a lot, but still has a brand-new contract. Luckily for the Raiders, they do have actually halfway decent depth, at least at guard. I like John Simpson, who they drafted in the 4th round out of Clemson. Sam Young scares me. Brandon Parker scares me at the tackle position. If this team can stay healthy, I'll bump that up to a 7. As soon as guys start getting hurt, though, if they do get hurt, that's where I start to get down near that 5-4 area. But I will tip my cap to Tom Cable and say if he did as good of a job as he did last season with all the injuries the Raiders had on the O-line, I'm actually starting to think that maybe we will be okay this year. The other reason, though, I did want to be able to bring this up is because the O-line does have a major job. They got to go ahead and protect Derek Carr. And the one thing that I've noticed from DC throughout his entire career, just like most quarterbacks, if you can keep them upright, they are going to play a lot better. Now, Carr has made the Pro Bowl in 3 years. I'm not always going to say that making the Pro Bowl is that big of a deal in the NFL because sometimes it's overrated. But the 3 years that he's made the Pro Bowl, 2016, 2017, 2015. As you can see, his sack rates in those years were a lot lower. 2020 was the best year of his entire career. 2014, he's a rookie, so I'll give him a little bit of pass there. The 2 years that he was by far the worst quarterback that we've seen on this team, a lot of turnover, but also he was getting ripped apart behind that offensive line. So if you can keep Derek Carr upright, he's going to be good for you. I can guarantee you that. So what do y'all think here? How good is Carr at evading pressure? Because the other thing that always gets brought up is Carr's not mobile. He's not good against the blitz. He's not good at getting away from pressure. So before I tell you my grade, how good is Carr at evading pressure? I want you to go A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give him a solid B grade. Could he be better? Yes, absolutely. Are there opportunities for him where he definitely takes advantage of his athletic ability? For sure. But in terms of overall, I found this really cool stat. This is from Next Gen Stats in terms of quarterbacks at best evading pressure in 2020. This is best evade rate in 2020. And as you can see, Derek Carr is number 5 on this list, which I'll tell you what, man, I actually think is pretty impressive. So evade rate is the percent of dropbacks where the quarterback was under pressure during a play but avoided pressure at the time of the throw. Anytime you're top 5 in the NFL in just about any kind of category, that's pretty good. But especially I wanted to be able to put this in there because people rip on Carr for not being elusive, and this just simply shows that, guess what? My man can evade some pressure. So usually I'm always like, hey guys, hit me up on Instagram. Let's meet up. Let's grab a beer. But now there's a lot better opportunity because I know a lot of y'all live in Las Vegas. So here's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in Vegas from July 14th to the 19th, and I've had a few people ask me, like, hey, can we grab a beer? Can we do this? So here are going to be your 4 opportunities to grab a beer, grab some food with me. July 15th, I'm going to be at Barcode Burger. That's the burger bar that you see a lot of Raiders players at. Maybe there's going to be somebody there. I'm probably going to get the Kukowski burger. July 17th, I'm going to be at Virgil's Barbecue from 11 a.m. to 2:30, and then I'm going to head on over to Allegiant Stadium to get my tour, and then July 17th, I'm going to be watching, hopefully, Game 5 of the NBA Finals, Suns against the Bucks at Beer Park. So if you want to hang out, message me on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. The last story here on today's show is around Chad Johnson, and is he on his way to Las Vegas? I screwed up the graphic, so you guys can go ahead and blame me. Is he in Las Vegas right now? It's for Chucky heads, believe it, baby. Is he going to be a Raider? No, he is absolutely no way in any hell going to be a Raider, and it's as simple as that. The reason why I got to go ahead and bring this up is because he's on Twitter, and he goes ahead and he says that he wants to try out for the Raiders, and he takes a picture, which you guys are about to see here in a second, of him at Allegiant Stadium. I'm here to try out for the Raiders. The one thing that I'm going to give Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, a lot of credit for is his ability to still be able to be relevant even though he hasn't played since 2011. We know that he's a comedian. We know that he's a funny dude, but in no way, shape, or form is he going to go ahead and play for the Raiders. So what do y'all think? I'm going to hit you with this question, then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Should the Raiders sign Chad Johnson? I want you to type S for sign him. Be like, Mitch, why not? Maybe he can still play receiver. Heck, maybe he can play kicker. I mean, he's probably got a better chance of being a kicker than he does a receiver at this point in his career. Or you can go ahead and type your W for washed. Let's face it. This dude is washed up in terms of being an NFL reliable wide receiver, an NFL player. So no, I don't think that he should be signed. Do I think he'd be a fun and entertaining dude? Yes, I absolutely do. But we're not the Jacksonville Jaguars. We don't need Tim Tebow to sell tickets. So no, you shouldn't go out and get Chad Johnson.